I'm a dude, and I'm inviting you to join me on a podcast about brews.
Does that include stouts?
Yes, of course it includes stouts. Like I was saying, join us every Saturday on the journey into...
Wait a minute. Do you guys do anything about like IPAs?
Yes,
Stuff like that?
yes, we do IPAs.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, join us on the Journey into Comics Network for Brews with Dudes.
Whoa, hey, have you guys ever... Do you care if I bring some Zima on?
Yes, I care if you bring Zima. Zima doesn't count. Zima's... Dr. Dongo. Anyway, join us every Saturday for a podcast that delves into the craft brew world.
The following
Journey into Comics.
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 Network.
Production.
Yes, it all started out as a mild curiosity in the junkyard. Now it's turned out to be quite a great spirited adventure.
People assume that time is a strict progression of cause to effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
You're calling the butler. I'm very partial to tea and muffins.
What's wrong with being childish? I like being childish.
Before I go, I just want to tell you were fantastic.
Never trust a hug. It's just a way to hide your face.
That's the exciting thing. Nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
Why are you pointing your screwdrivers like that? They're scientific instruments, not water pistols.
GallifRadio! Yes, this must be where I live.
This is gonna be fun.
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of GallifRadio, a Whovian podcast. I'm your host, Veronica, and with me as always, my companions, Nate and Sarah. How's it going, guys?
It's good.
Yeah, I'm here. It's late.
It's late, yeah, it's late. It's been a long day and a long week.
We're burning the midnight oil on this one, folks.
Yeah.
This is maybe the latest GallifRadio we'll ever record.
Yeah, it's coming down to the wire.
It's going over the wire, let's be real about it. That's okay.
Yeah. It's been a long day,
It has been.
But I'm happy to be here talking about Doctor Who.
Yes. There's a lot to talk about.
We do have a lot to talk about.
I have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, do you want to start us off with what we just recently did?
I guess we watched the new episode of Doctor Who with Jodie Whitaker.
Series 11.
Yeah, and I don't know how to even start about it. It was...
How do you feel about it?
I feel really good about it. I feel like
Me too.
I felt refreshed after I watched it.
I thought they knocked it out of the fucking park.
Yeah, I felt like it was an interesting and direction that I don't quite know where they're going to go with it.
Yeah.
Which is in a good way.
It was totally different Doctor Who experience for me.
But like everybody's
way.
saying, I kept forgetting that the Doctor's a woman, you know. That was such a big deal for everybody. But
Yeah, and
she's
it wasn't
so
a big
precious.
deal. I think they say the one thing, they say madam once, and she's like, I'm a madam? What? Like, really? Oh. Cool. Does it fit? Does it suit me? I loved that. Does it suit me?
Oh, does it suit me? Like some matter of fact. Oh, up to 30 minutes ago, I was a gray-haired Scotsman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was precious. I really, really liked it. I thought it was a good episode.
I believed her as the Doctor.
She was totally believable as the Doctor.
Yeah.
I think the episode did a great job of, when you get something like, oh, we're getting a new Doctor. Most fans want it to start off with the Doctor and just get right into it and give us what we're wanting to see.
Mm-hmm.
This episode does not start there at all. We start with Ryan and him talking on YouTube and telling his story. And we come to find out he's going to be a new companion, but he's a dude who cannot ride a bike.
Yeah, that was a little cheesy, but, they laid it on a little thick.
But I think it's a good setup because there are people,
Sorry.
Listen, hey.
Not to be that guy.
Season 1 Voice of Survival guest Josh Richmond, 34-year-old Josh Richmond, still can't ride a bike. So those people do
That's
exist.
something else, though. That's
you're
not
right.
what...
You're right. No, you're right.
Come
That's totally
on.
something else, but you get what I'm saying. It's funny to mention him. He checked out Doctor Who on my recommendation back when I first started podcasting way back in January of 2014.
Nice.
Wild. full circleness. But anyways, back to it. I loved Jodie Whitaker.
Yeah, she was super believable as the Doctor.
Not only believable, they gave her interesting. This was a very interesting arc. I mean, we haven't even gotten into the villain yet and what the purpose of this was.
I know. I still feel like I want to talk about her, though.
Oh, continue on. Please continue. Sorry.
Well, I loved that she was wearing the same outfit, like, almost the whole episode.
Yeah.
The raggedy, old Doctor's outfit.
Yeah. With the
And,
little...
I have to preface this by saying that I still haven't caught up to the current season of Doctor Who. We just decided to watch it. Despite the fact that I haven't watched Peter Capaldi's last season. So I have no idea what happened. And it really didn't matter. They didn't even, touch on it in this new, you could just jump right in and it's a brand new show, a brand new vibe.
Extraordinarily accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think is the word.
It's appealing to a lot of people, probably, It was really good. I liked it. And then the storyline, I thought it was interesting. I mean, they had a very interesting villain. You were pretty amused by the teeth guy, right? The guy with all the teeth in his face.
Tim Shaw.
Tim Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Shaw.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
It is not Tim Shaw. It is Shim Shaw.
Yeah.
Tim Shaw.
Oh, yeah, that was goofy.
That was a funny B-movie monster.
The little bulb pod from Dragon Quest VIII was in this episode.
Oh, the electrical thing.
No. The thing that births the villain. That little pod.
Oh, yeah.
The Hershey's Kiss that was blue.
Gross.
It looked like that little dude from Dragon Quest VIII. The cover. You know what I'm talking about. The little blue guy.
Oh, yeah, the slime.
Yes. Thank you. The slime. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. I'll pull it up if you want me to.
That's okay.
Okay.
I'll pass.
So what were some of your favorite things about Jodie Whittaker's Doctor? Just curious.
I thought she had some really interesting personality traits that I've seen in previous Doctors. It was like all the best ones into one person, Like she reminded me a lot of like Christopher Eccleston and Matt Smith.
Yes.
Like she had that happy doctor kind of vibe.
She even had an air of Tennant in there a little bit too, I think.
Yeah, she did. She had that
peppered it in
nerdiness to her that was kind of the nerdy David Tennant, Tennantness or whatever.
I liked too that, well, you said David Tennant and it reminded me like how angry of a doctor David Tennant was.
Yeah.
And
he had some rage.
Yeah, a lot of rage, especially.
He was the wounded one.
Yeah, especially after the whole thing went down.
We don't talk about that.
But
may she not be mentioned.
Yeah, but I
Rose
didn't
Tyler,
see. Yeah, that. Thank you.
Rude.
But whoa, I totally lost my train of thought. I don't even know what I was saying.
I don't either.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw you off track.
We got off on some tangent.
We were talking about David Tennant.
Oh,
yeah,
I was just going to say
was.
that she didn't show very much of that. That was all.
It
was going to be
she was
more
like a
eloquent
happier.
than that.
She was like a happier.
She's
doctor.
happier, yeah.
I liked that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get you off track there.
That's okay.
I was just trying to be goofy.
So what did you like? What did you like?
I guess
about
I
her?
really haven't said. I love that she was a tinkerer. Very third
Yeah.
Doctor. I mean, she has to get into some
That's why they
business.
got that sonic screwdriver.
Is that what you're calling it now, the sonic screwdriver?
Well, I'm not going to call it what I thought it looked like just because I'm trying to be a little bit more polite about it. Trying to give it a chance, because that was the best homegirl could do in that situation.
Totally.
Yeah.
Using part of dude's ship, Tim Shaw's ship, to create her sonic screwdriver. She took pieces off of that to use as the crystal for it.
Convenient.
Yeah, no, it was convenient. But overall, you have Graham.
Oh, yeah, new companions.
And Graham's wife, who I suck and forgot her name, and she's like a very important
You're
role.
like, earlier he's like, don't worry, I remember all the characters'
Except
names.
for,
I never remember
Except
them.
for Graham's wife, which
she was
is
just called Nan.
Nan, right?
Nan.
Yeah, Nan.
Nan, right?
Because it was Ryan's grandma.
Nan.
Yeah.
Nan, yeah. I think that's what it was. We watched this last week.
And Graham was
having a hard time remembering.
Me
Graham
too.
was like his step grandfather.
Yes.
So.
And they had only been married like 3 years.
Mm-hmm. And Ryan
And she was like his chemo doctor.
Yeah. No.
Graham.
Other way around. Graham was the one with chemo. She was the nurse.
Yeah, that's what I said. She was his
she
nurse.
was his chemo. Okay, gotcha.
She was his nurse.
Totally.
And that's how they met and fell in love.
Yeah. What's that called, Florence Nightingale? That's not it. What's that when someone falls in love with their patient?
Oh, I don't know.
Stockholm Syndrome. No,
that's their captor.
That's their captor.
Oops.
I think we're on a train.
Yeah, where are we? You were talking about Graham.
Can't get off.
Oh, I was trying to introduce the characters and talk about how, like, Ryan calls the cops because when he's searching for his bike, he finds the blue slime thing.
Oh, yeah, and then we're introduced to our other companion.
Yaz, right? And she's a cop, or a trainee cop, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting play on Amy Pond a little bit, because Amy Pond is a pretend cop when we first meet her in Series 5.
Oh, yeah.
She's a different kind of cop.
Totally.
Yeah, she was a different kind of cop.
She kind of reminded me a little bit of Torchwood. She kind of had that grittiness. Like, she wanted to get it, you know. She was trying to figure out the mystery. So she's like, sure, I'll go with this weird alien lady and search for this weird electrical tentacle monster thing. It was very, I don't know. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was a good... You know what I was saying earlier? I liked that they gave her best friends, like a whole ensemble of companions to choose from, and not just like one person that you want there to be a romance with or some shit, you know?
Yeah, that was getting pushed for a few seasons.
Right.
I don't want to say like pushed, you know, but that was
totally
definitely an element in the background.
And now I like that the romance element is only between the two companions. You know, it's Yaz and Ryan, right? Because they're like schoolmates from school.
Yeah, they knew it. Yeah, they knew each other.
Whatever.
They're classmates.
Sure. Yeah. They go back. They have history.
Yeah.
Convenient.
This story is interesting. Some people were joking online. I want to briefly mention this. Some Brits were joking online that the train that they used in the Doctor Who show for this series doesn't exist. Even though that is a real train, they said it was much too clean to be the train that goes between those two cities. They were like, it looked too nice to be our train. Like, what are you doing?
Probably was CGI'd or something.
Oh, and also people are, there are some people that are slightly panicked because they couldn't understand through some of the accents.
Really?
Oh, I saw those, just headlines. I didn't pay attention to it, but
I didn't see any.
Yeah, I saw a few those floating around. That's annoying.
I didn't have an issue.
No. I mean, if you've watched Doctor Who for any length of time, you've heard all different kinds of accents from the region over there. So, yeah, I don't know what people's problem is. Get some subtitles. Chill out. You know? Sorry.
I really enjoy The Woman Who Fell to Earth, which shockingly was Jodie falling to Earth.
Yeah, you had made that you had read something that said that it was like... What the hell were you talking about?
Well, there was a couple articles I had read prior to this show debuting this season. One was that they weren't going to even spend any time worrying about that she was a woman.
Right.
It was not, and it pretty much was that.
And that panned out.
Totally.
Which is why we kind of kept waiting, because you had read online that the title wasn't in reference to the Doctor. It was in reference to somebody else.
And it was. Because... I don't know how we want to do this, because we're going to get spoilers with it, which we're going to have a River Song button that I'm going to put in here sometime soon that's like spoilers, because we're going to talk about spoilery stuff, because I want to get into the actual episode. Like I said, Ryan trying to ride the bike doesn't happen. He goes about his thing after he throws the bike off the cliff.
Yeah, dramatic.
He was pissed. He was like, fuck this bike.
I wouldn't throw my bike off a fucking cliff in front of my grandma.
I mean, it was pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
You know.
Emo.
He really wanted to ride that bike, guys.
He really did, and he couldn't do it. But he goes down to find his bike, and his grandma and Graham have to go take the train. They're taking the train back home. And Ryan's on his own little journey. And
to get his bike.
He's going to find his bike, and this is when he stumbles upon... He finds the bike in the tree, but then he stumbles upon this weird yellow light. Do you remember that? Like it was almost
it looked like it was
Strange.
From Hellraiser.
I thought Doctor Strange, but Hellraiser 2 also. Fair, that's a fair assessment. He touches it, and then it's like, and then the blue slime dude appears,
Yeah, he like opened a portal. Yeah.
And
or as we later find out, it was giving permission.
Yeah.
For this thing to come to Earth
and have sport on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So while the train is going between places, a giant cord tentacle monster attacks it and starts draining the power.
Right.
And kills the
and
driver.
Then, yeah.
Weird.
Well, she said that the driver probably died of a heart attack and shock because of what? Shock. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That would do it because it was electricity. Yeah, whatever.
So, as this tentacle monster is attacking the train, Ryan and Yaz, who have previously met in the woods and are discussing this blue slime, she gets another call that some strange stuff is happening to this train. So they rush to the train, and by the time they get on the train, the doctor falls through the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
What?
She just like crash lands into the train conveniently.
Mm-hmm.
And then the little tentacle monster shot like lights at everybody, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that
stabs them with lights.
What did I can't remember what did, like,
they were bombs that would melt your DNA.
Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was called.
It just like liquefies you.
Yeah, something about your
It
DNA,
like takes out one of your key strands of your DNA, so you just
or
melt
genetic
it.
bomb or something. It was something.
It was
like
nasty
that.
business.
That is serious business.
Some horror business.
Ooh, I love that little Easter egg dropped in there. But so she gets the spaghetti monster.
The electrical spaghetti monster.
She shocked it, right? Or she took.
Yeah, she like zapped it and overloaded it and stunned it for like a few minutes, long enough for her to, make her introduction as the doctor and not know who the hell she was, but whatever.
I loved that too. The line where she asks Ryan, "Are you a doctor? I'm looking for a doctor." It's like, you don't even know what you're asking for because you're not looking for a doctor. You're just trying to find yourself. Beautiful.
I see what they did there.
So, you know what? I totally cannot remember, and forgive me, but why? What situation do they get put into? Where are they at when she realizes she needs the Sonic? I do remember. The blue slime disappeared because dude stole it. Took it to the lab, and he's got the GoPros on it.
Oh, yeah. Some dude steals the blob thing, the Hershey Kiss blob.
And we find out that the reason he did that is because his sister had gone missing.
Right.
Which, that sucks.
7 years prior, right?
Yeah. And so this blue slime finally, it's not really slime, but it's
like a pod.
It's a pod, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pod.
It hatches.
Yeah.
Giant pod.
And it looked like almost like Bee-Man. Like his mask looked like it was going to be like a bee monster, but he was in all black, so he was super stealthy looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it was just a really interesting aesthetic.
And then he killed the dude.
He murks the dude out real quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He freezes him with his hand. And then like cracks his jaw open to get his tooth as a trophy.
That's right, because Tim Shaw's skin is so cold that if he touches you, you instantly die. Fucking Tim Shaw. Oh, that was crazy. So then he takes off, and now he's in the world.
Tim Shaw.
And
Shaw.
We did forget. Matters. There's the dude that was on the train. One of the dudes on the train just leaves. He's like,
he doesn't want to be a part of it. He's like,
he
peace, I'm
off,
out.
Yeah.
He's like, no, thank you.
I
need
just
to
gotta
get
go
to
work. Yeah.
And live my life at work. The end. So Tim Shaw's out in the world, back at it again, and then
he's sending out the ball of electricity to scout.
Yeah.
Correct. And the doctor and them go and they find the lab. And they review the footage, and there's the if I die, here's this, and it tells the story of his sister going missing and him triangulating this thing's reoccurrence and a once in a lifetime chance to find it again or whatever, and that he had found it. Of course, he did not defeat Tim Shaw, but that gets me every time, damn it, because she was just so coy about it,
Because how dorky it looks too,
Yeah,
stupid
it was
monster.
very Sycoraxic.
Well, yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah,
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, it kind of had a Sycoraxic look, but it wasn't a Sycorax, which was interesting. But back where were we? Oh, okay. So I'm trying to like quickly go through the synopsis of the show as it happened. They go to the lab. She realizes that she needs her Sonic. that's when she builds the Sonic. Because she's got to get the chips out of the people.
And at this point, she's already like been like napping and regenerating and things, you know. So she's getting closer and closer to being restored,
and getting back to her full self. And finally, we get to the third and final act, and the spaghetti wire mechanical lightning monster guy.
He had been tracking the dude that had left from the train to go to work, right, all along, because the tooth monster guy came to Earth looking specifically for that human as a target for like hunting, like for, because he was supposed to be king of this planet or whatever. Yeah. The only way he can ascend to his throne is if he brings back a random human that was picked at random.
Yeah.
And that poor dude was picked at random.
Poor crane driver guy.
Yeah, that guy. So, yeah, they're like tracking this ball of energy and all of this shit. And they realize that that's who it was looking for. So they go to the place to help him, like the construction site where he's working at night. And they get everybody to leave.
That was super clever.
Yeah, pretending to be, who were they pretending to be? Just like workers, like
they were like,
it was unsafe.
Yeah, they had clipboards.
They looked official. Yeah, they were the older couple, so people were listening to them, respecting their elders.
Oh shit, yeah, better. We are in Britain now, right?
Yeah, there's a life lesson there, you know. If you just act like you're supposed to be somewhere,
then
you know that's how you get backstage. Everybody,
that's what I'm telling you guys.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So the spaghetti monster thing is sucking energy out of that area and stuff. It's like charging itself and like preparing for something.
He's like trying to drain the energy from the cranes, and the dude is trying to like climb up the cranes to try to get the dude.
And Tim Shaw's going up to get dude.
That's what I was just saying.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not using names. My bad.
It's
You tell
okay.
it. You tell it. You tell it so much better than I do.
So Tim Shaw's attacking the train kid. That's the crane guy.
I don't remember his name.
I don't think they ever said his name.
Yeah, they did.
He's just train kid crane guy.
The guy that had to go to work.
Yeah, the guy that had to go to work.
Yeah, that guy.
So he is almost going to get captured by Tim Shaw, and Jodie Whitaker's doctor's on the other side telling him to jump.
From one crane to the other,
yeah.
Which he almost does, but gets grabbed by Tim Shaw midair and pulled back. So then Jodie jumps like a badass and barely grabs it.
Like, oh, my arms used to be longer.
Yeah, and then she finally climbs
my
up.
legs or whatever.
Or something, yeah.
And then she gets up there and delivers a beastly first doctor monologue. Like, I'm the fucking doctor.
I love that part.
Break
I'm
it down.
The doctor, bitch.
You know.
It's like, yeah, totally.
Is this episode title I'm the Doctor, bitch?
Maybe. It's very Bill and Ted.
That makes me think of
Righteous.
Juhas when we had him on, when he's going to be on Foodies this next week, when he was like, bitch.
Oh, yeah.
That was hilarious. Made me laugh. So ultimately the doctor saves the day.
Oh, well, yeah. Did you expect it to go any other way?
No.
I mean, there was a casualty we should mention.
Yeah.
Because the monster's still sucking the juice out of that crane and is going to screw it up. And Nan
did we even finish? Like, did we say what happened to Tim Shaw?
No.
Yeah, maybe you should back it up here and just
finish
out
it was pretty
what
dramatic.
happened.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah,
I forgot about that. Oh, shit, yeah. So the doctor lets Tim Shaw go. She's like, look.
He's like,
I fucked that up. There's my one slip of the season. She's like, look, I'm going to let you slide on this one. Just don't ever come back to this planet, or things are going to be bad for you. And as she's letting him go, crane guy pushes him off.
This
is Sparta.
Yeah,
totally.
Kicks him like sucker kick.
Destroys him, man. Oh,
but he got zapped back into his other dimension.
That is
mid-air.
true.
He was fucking fine.
That is true. But what a dramatic way to go.
You didn't have the right to do that. It's like,
right to do that.
Well, who cares, lady? He was just trying to fucking murder me.
Yeah, like what would you? Well, the doctor has had people try to murder him and or her.
Well, he is never going to be the doctor. He is a mere earthling.
Just a sheer little earth creature. So
who matters, by the way? Not to say that he doesn't. I loved that his character was listening to life affirmations on his radio.
I am good. I am
important.
Yeah.
People do like me.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I am respected.
Yeah.
So Nan sees the spaghetti monster and is like, "Oh, I saw the doctor overload it. I'll overload it. That's all I got to do."
Mm-hmm.
And she successfully overloads it. But what happens when she overloads it?
She did.
Well, it essentially releases the tension that's holding her in place, and because there's nothing holding her in place, she falls. The woman who fell to Earth.
Oh, yeah.
To her death.
Mm-hmm.
There's your episode title. So, and
not
then
gonna lie, did not make that connection until right now.
Oh, that's
I was
great.
still thinking it was about Jodie Whitaker because she fell to Earth too. Damn it!
Yeah, that's true.
She crash landed through the fucking roof.
Double entendre.
Yeah, we had just like how at the beginning of the episode it was Ryan's personal blog, and it was led to believe that you were thinking that it was the doctor he was referring. That he met the most, or that he
knew the most amazing woman
or whatever. Yeah, but then at the end of the episode, the epilogue or whatever is his blog talking. You realize he was talking about his grandma.
It's really sad.
Yeah, it was sad.
And it hits you in the feels, and you're like, ugh.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna love this season.
And then he had to ride his bike again.
So then
and then he had to be super dramatic and ride his bike and kept falling and falling.
And the doctor, before we get out of here,
terrible.
the doctor.
I know, we're the worst. Jesus.
The doctor decides to employ these three for one last go after Nan's funeral. So it's Ryan, Graham, and Yaz. And she's like, all I need is your guys' help to get some stuff together, because what we're going to do is we're going to use my sonic screwdriver to pinpoint the location of the TARDIS and send me there.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that
And
shit.
I'm going to go there, and then you guys don't have to worry about it. It's fine. You guys can go about your own business.
Yeah.
However,
things go awry.
Because as she goes to do this, as soon as the Sonic pinpoints the location of the TARDIS, it throws all of them into deep space.
Right, but at the beginning of the episode, when they asked her, where's your TARDIS? Or she was like, where's my TARDIS? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was blowing up in space.
Mm-hmm.
So the TARDIS allegedly, I haven't seen the last season, so the TARDIS allegedly has been blown up.
Usually,
so if she
it's
was
pretty
transported to where the TARDIS was, there's no TARDIS.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. And
they're just floating in fucking space.
Mm-hmm. And they look like they're going to catch freeze. They're going to get frozen, kind of like Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, because haven't you ever seen, Mission to Mars?
Oh, yeah.
That stuck with me.
Yeah.
Watching that astronaut fucking freeze to death in space.
Ooh.
Not
no,
a fan.
Thank you.
No. Not about
I
that.
like my time in space, timey-wimey, not just super
dead and
depressing.
grimy.
Yeah.
Timey-wimey, not
too
dead
real,
and grimy.
Too real.
Too real, man.
To talk about, I want to ask you guys. So that's where they left the episode off, by the way. Boom.
Yep.
And then we got this super cool thing that they've never done before on Doctor Who, where every single guest spot for the entire season was featured in a little, a clip,
like a
reel.
preview of what's to come on Doctor Who, and it was all the guest stars, which I thought was dope.
Yeah, it didn't tell you where they were going to be
that.
featured. It didn't show,
Because honestly, I haven't really been keeping up with any of the new news of casting or anything, because I'm still a season behind, and I don't want to get all spoilery or whatever.
Totally. It seems like this is going to be a very self-contained episode, or not episode, but season rather. They're definitely trying to set themselves apart from the past with nods to the past.
Was this the first episode that we haven't even seen the TARDIS in of
New
Who?
Wow, that's actually a great question. Let me just quickly. Okay, so you see it all of Capaldi, or not all of Capaldi. You see it all of Eccleston's season.
Every episode, you see the TARDIS, and the Doctor is utilizing the TARDIS in some regard, either to get away or to hide out or whatever. But this episode, you didn't see a TARDIS.
Not at all. Even at the end, when you thought you were going to get the TARDIS,
right? They were just floating in fucking space. Oh shit,
something has gone wrong.
Yeah, clearly. So, what's going to happen?
I don't know.
I'm excited.
I know, and this weekend we get the new...
Clearly we know they're all going to be fine, because there's a whole season they teased.
Totally. This coming weekend, after this episode debuts, this Sunday, we will get episode 2 of Series 11, The Ghost Monument, which I saw a 15-second teaser for. We'll pull it up after the podcast. It looks all right. They didn't really give anything away, so there's not really much to report. It's very vague.
Sweet.
But I want to know what you guys rate this first go for Jodie and Chibnall and all of that. And
it's hard to rate.
I wouldn't rate it. I would just say that they did a great job. It was a really fresh, entertaining, and well written, and well acted.
Mm-hmm. The cinematography was incredible.
It's a whole new thing, which I think people will be able to get into. And there's a lot of characteristics that make you believe that she really is the Doctor, and that this isn't going to be uncharted territory, you're still going to get what you love.
Yeah, absolutely. You're definitely getting...
I feel great about this episode. I liked it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new season.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I don't like the new remix of the theme.
Really?
All that much. I'm not super into it.
I liked it. I thought it sounded like the old school Who.
With
it was
notes
just a little
noisy.
It was a little noisy for me.
Yeah, you did. You said that it sounded a little industrial to you.
Yeah, it was a little too much trudging through the mud for me.
I feel you.
It was different.
It was different. It was different.
And I mean, I've heard all the different iterations.
That's another thing to note too.
Theme.
Murray Gold out as the composer for Doctor Who, so all the
music
it's
all
was different.
It was all different.
Wow!
I'm still warming up to it.
I was just getting ready to ask
you,
as someone who's into music like you are and understands music composition on that level, was there anything that really stood out to you in this first episode musically, or was it just kind of like you're still getting your bearings to what this person's style is?
Yeah, I don't want to comment on it yet because I'm gonna give it a little time.
Let it grow on you.
To me,
I didn't. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I didn't warm up to it right away, but I don't warm up to most music changes right away. I have to give it space to kind of do its thing.
Be its own thing.
Yeah. I don't want to judge it just by one episode. I'm gonna see what the trend is.
Fair enough.
Yeah, see if there is a trend.
Yeah. See what the style is and everything, because it's so ingrained with the other composer, and when the coming, the different big themes.
Yeah, I thought it was a little, I don't want to say emotionally manipulative cheese.
Yeah.
At times, but I just said it.
Yeah.
It was on the cusp of that for sure.
Yeah, it was on the cusp. I was trying really hard to be a good sport about it.
That's why I'm giving it another episode. I don't know.
It wasn't as bad as what the CW does with The Flash.
Ooh, yeah, I don't even want to go there.
We don't even want to go to the CW right now.
That's a whole other podcast.
That's a whole other podcast. Yeah, that's the Journey into Comics podcast.
Yeah, we'll be talking about some other stuff. Coming up next week on 213. Hope you guys check it out. Anyways, that's Cheap Pop.
You just set them up for you and you knock them out of the park.
I will just say I really loved the cinematography. This is the greatest Doctor Who has ever looked. Hands down.
Yeah.
It was
I'd say that too.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I'd say that too.
I mean, all the special effects looked good.
Yeah, it did.
Everything. I really was just
And I loved the practical effects. I liked the fact that those teeth were all painstakingly made by a makeup artist.
Yeah, I liked that.
Oh, man.
My sister does that kind of work, and I really feel for that kind of attention to detail and
meticulousness.
Tedious. Yeah, totally.
And the crazy thing being also, those are 2 and 3 and 4 day shoots. So that guy's got to remake up again and again.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy was a good sport.
Yeah.
Totally.
Good job, Tim Shaw.
Good job, Tim Shaw. Episode title. Good job, Tim Shaw. Thank you, Veronica. Awesome. Okay. I don't really have much more to say about the new series. I am looking forward to where we go from here. We did get Jodie getting her new digs too. At the end
her
of the
adorable
episode.
little outfit. Yeah, I dig it.
Her weird capri. They're longer than capris, but they're capris, I guess.
Gauchos.
Those are called gauchos.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Thank you guys for being fashionistas.
I don't know how I feel about gauchos, but they
What do you
work
think?
for her because she had the cute suspenders.
I was going to ask
without
about the
looking
suspenders.
too,
It's all about the material.
GAY.
With the gauchos.
She also had the cool sort of trench, but not trench. It was
I dug her coat. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that she had pockets.
What do you guys think about Jodie Whitaker, the first Doctor Who Barbie?
Yeah, we shared that on our GallifRadio Facebook page when Mattel posted about it.
You can now order that, by the way.
I think that's cool. Now I want a Peter Capaldi one because it'd be adorable and angry.
Absolutely.
And I want I want him to be from the episode where he was playing a rock and roll show in like medieval England or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be a good Barbie doll.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, do you want to
make that happen?
Do you want to read this off for us?
What is that?
This is the overnight viewing figures for the first season, or the first episode of the season. Oh, sorry, you can't see that?
No.
I'll scooch up and read it, no worries.
I can't even see that.
It says, Doctor Who, The Woman Who Fell to Earth, was watched by 8.2 million viewers, a share of 40.1 of the total local TV audience, according to the unofficial overnight figures. The audience grew throughout the episode, peaking at 8.52 million for the final 15 minutes. The rating makes Doctor Who the third highest rating of the week, just behind 2 editions of Strictly Come Dancing. Must be a dance show. It is the highest overnight rating for the series for a regular episode for over 10 years. The debut episode of the 12th Doctor, Deep Breath, had an overnight rating of 6.8 million viewers, while the debut of the 11th Doctor, The 11th Hour, had a 7.7 million view with a 0.03 also watching on BBC HD, making a total of 8 million views. The last regular episode to top this figure was Journey's End, Series 4 in 2008, with an overnight figure of 9.4 million. The highest rating for a Sunday for the result show of Strictly Come Dancing, with an average of 9.04 million. So that Strictly Come Dancing show is their best show. But Doctor Who, third highest, the highest rating in over 10 years. Journey's End, just so you guys to be clarified, that's when we had Donna, Martha, Rose, Jackie, Mickey.
Yeah, that was that
fucking
big...
everybody. The Dr. Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Damn.
Yes, Davros. So.
Yeah, this Doctor Who has a lot to live up to.
Yeah, but I mean, that first episode's a great first showing. I think the numbers are going to probably stay solid. And speaking of Journey's End and the 10th Doctor, I did just recently pull up for audio adventures.
That's
but
awesome.
Still,
10th Doctor and Donna back for more audio adventures. Man, I just love David Tennant. Look at his face. Look at that picture.
Yeah,
with
and
Donna.
Actually, they have a picture of the 10th Doctor's adventures. It's got a Jadoon on it. A couple Jadoon.
Doctor Who.
And Grandpa Wilfred.
I haven't got into any of the audio adventures, only because I don't have time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe when we're, touring or something, we can start putting them on while we're driving.
Oh, my God,
to
yes.
get in the zone, like on long
love
trips.
That
would be so nerdy. But I'm for it.
You just made my whole night. That was the best idea you've had.
I want to hear
today.
David Tennant again as the Doctor. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, and you know that David Tennant and Martha did a cartoon as well?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
There was a cartoon.
Martha.
Yeah, I know. I know, Martha.
You loved Martha.
I did love Martha.
What are you talking about? I didn't.
I was just mirroring you and your angst against Martha because she wasn't Rose. But Martha was my first companion. See, that's what nobody understands. The first Doctor Who I ever watched was Human Nature, Family of Blood, meaning the first companion I ever got used to, the closest thing to having a doctor, was Martha, pretending to be a slave in the 1800s. What the fuck? Like, craziness, So I do have a soft spot for Martha.
Fair. Fair point.
And you also have to consider
first.
True. And weirdly enough, you have to also consider that after the Human Nature, Family of Blood, the very next Doctor Who episode of that new series that I watched, after I had watched all of that other new series, Who seasons 1 and 2, was Blink.
Oh, yeah.
And man,
that's a great episode.
Hit it out of the park, Sally Sparrow. Anyways, Sarah. You want to talk about this interesting thing you found at the second, Charles?
Oh, my God, yeah. I'm really excited to talk about this. We had previously talked about it a little bit on Foodies. You went to a bookstore and went on a book adventure and found the most fabulous fucking books.
Yeah, sometimes I make good finds. But this book, I got used in, I don't know what section. I don't know why it was there, but it's called The Making of Doctor Who. And it's from... Wait, I have to get the... originally published in Great Britain in 1972.
Like the cover art of this book alone is gold.
Yeah, we will have to post a picture of the cover art. But this version is from 1976. But it goes through everything about Classic Who, and it has a synopsis of every single episode, like all the episode arcs, and so we're gonna be doing
up until a point, though. Up at what now? Like
where does it
end
for old?
What's the last
Who?
episode?
My bad. Well, whatever was happening in 1976. So
the Ribos invasion.
Let's see. What'd you say?
I'm guessing Ribos invasion.
No, wait. Let me make sure I'm at the end. Yes, the Hand of Fear.
Oh.
But this goes up through the Fourth Doctor's adventures.
It's like little Cliff's Notes, a synopsis of each episode in one magical little book.
Yeah, it's when he leaves Sara on Earth, Sarah Jane Smith.
Yeah,
that's
right.
where this leaves off.
We looked at it, yeah.
Which is, tied into the new series, if y'all know.
Where does that book start? Is there like an epilogue, or is that a prologue?
Well, it doesn't start with the episode arc summaries. It doesn't start with that. It has. Let's see what we got.
Let's do a book report.
Yeah. Well, it goes over how it all began, which is whatever, some sort of preface or something, and then it talks about the Daleks. And
it just gets right into it.
We're definitely going to do an entire episode dedicated to the Daleks.
Yeah, for sure. And then who is the Doctor? So it talks about who is the Doctor.
At that point, only 4 actors played him.
Oh, apparently Tom Baker gets a whole chapter. It says Tom Baker is Doctor Who.
Well, that was at the time when he was, he was their marathon man at that point.
Correct, yeah. So, still one of the most, probably I would say the most popular of the classic
and
Doctors,
the longest reigning Doctor in history.
Not my favorite still, although I did like him. And then it talks about the 3 Doctors.
Amazing
the
story
first
arc with
Doctor,
Omega.
Second Doctor, Third Doctor. Ooh, John Pertwee. I like him.
I know.
Monsters Galore and the Master. That's what this chapter's called.
Oh, that's dope.
And this talks about the Cybermen, the Ice Warriors, the Yeti, the Autons. The Autons get a lot. Silurians.
Where was
and
this
the
book
sea
when we
devils.
talked about that?
Huh?
Where was this book when we talked about the Autons like a couple episodes ago?
I know. It was waiting for us for $2.10.
And do you know what's crazy?
You're right.
Here's something I didn't put together until today. The first season of John Pertwee as the Doctor and the second season of John Pertwee as the Doctor both start with Auton stories.
Yeah.
Oh.
His first story is against the Autons.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the
and
setup.
that's how Christopher Eccleston's does too.
But not Terror of the Autons. Spearhead from Space is John Pertwee's first episode.
Yeah, that it sets up Terror of the Autons.
Yes, and yes, totally.
Sets it up.
We did that on a classic cut. But I agree with you saying Eccleston also having it as his first big monster. It's a beautiful callback. And you get John Pertwee a lot throughout this series of Doctor Who. A lot of different doctors used him as a template of excellence, I think.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to starting to watch some more Classic Who, seeing as you just got BritBox.
Oh, yeah, that's... I was going to talk about that. Yeah, because when we do Classic Who, we got a kitty cat scratching.
Yeah.
We were all like, oh, what's that?
Yeah,
it's late. It's late, everybody. But we're going to start, because this book, there's a few other things in like the preface part of it. There's like 52 pages of stuff before we get to a complete chronological summary of the Doctor Who adventures up through, Tom Baker's episode that we just said.
Hand of Fear.
Yeah, but we have all of these little synopses, and we're going to go through, and we're going to watch episodes every week. We're going to start at the beginning, the very, very beginning, with the first Doctor. And you can watch all this stuff on BritBox, which is BritBox.com. And it's like Netflix or Hulu, but it's all British shows, and it has every single episode of Classic Who. Well, I take that back. Some of them say unavailable. I'm not sure why. They could be like partial
Maybe
episodes, or I don't know.
Or they have an incomplete series where there's certain episodes that are missing.
Or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there could be a variety of reasons, but all the important stuff is there. And
cool.
You can watch all of it for $6.99 a month. And you get a 1 week free trial.
And if you use your computer or laptop, it auto plays the next episode.
Show does.
That's super nice.
So you can just chill out and just watch Doctor Who marathon style back to back to back. It's only 22-minute episodes, so it's like
just have them on.
It's like Workaholics, you know?
Yeah. So, anyways, we're going to be watching all the classic Who, but we're going to do it in order because that's fun. So we're going to start at the beginning with, the first Doctor, and then we've got this new Doctor that we're kind of paralleling going through. So it's fun to trace the Doctor's timeline back like that because if you think about it, as the same character, whatever that spirit is that's in there that keeps reforming into new bodies.
Light.
Yeah, it's a very godlike thing when you think about it. It's got that sort of undertone to it, but it's very interesting because it's just interesting. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to watching old Doctor Who because I missed it.
I've never really watched it.
I can't wait for Veronica, for you, to watch this show. It's going to be your perfect show.
I'm excited about it. I really am. I can't wait to marathon it. And I can chill and watch that. I have been watching, Netflix just has acquired Monty Python's Flying Circus and a whole bunch of other Monty Python movies on Netflix.
Yeah, that's your jam.
That was my jam. Like, I have the box set and I can watch that anytime I want to, but they also had some other fun ones, like the John Cleese one you and I were watching the other day.
Retrospective.
Yeah, it was an interview with John Cleese, and he was just being belligerent and kicking his nurse into the pool.
He was old man John Cleese.
Yeah, that was a funny character.
Yeah.
Talking about how he hated Graham Chapman. Thought he was a terrible actor or something.
Yeah.
Rude. No, it was super funny. But that's on Netflix too. I can't remember what it's called.
Monty Python's Flying Circus, right? And isn't one of the specials, is it within that thing or no? Did you find
something separate?
Oh, I didn't know. My fault.
Yeah.
I was going to say one thing. You put on Spearhead from Space, which is John Pertwee's first run as the Doctor. And there was something I wanted to mention that I want. Oh, you had a different Doctor that you really liked. There was a different Doctor in the episode whose name you really liked.
Oh, just a random character?
Yeah.
Oh, we had the subtitles on. You never even would have known unless you were paying attention to the credits at the end or something. But it was some doctor that was a random character in thing, but his name was Dr. Beavis.
It was pretty awesome.
That was all they kept calling him, Dr. Beavis.
Wow.
And I was like, oh. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even think to bring that up today.
That's so funny.
Good thing they remembered.
Good job, Tim Shaw.
Yeah, that.
I will say one thing I want to jump back to the Jodie Whitaker thing before we're out of here. The fan reaction has been overwhelmingly positive. I want to make sure we say that aloud, that people...
According to comicbook.com and all that.
No, but it's every site I see, if I'm on Facebook and I'm on one of my Facebook nerd groups, people are... It's very, very... And I'm talking less than 10 people I've seen say shitty things about the show.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just butthurt fanboys. You can tell. You can tell by how they're trying to defend some sort of invisible honor that does not exist about the Doctor. Like, the Doctor wants everybody to have a fair shot at it. That's why the Doctor is so important as a character. So... I've just seen all this love for Jodie, and it's like, yes, this is what I was hoping. When we got the announcement that she was being cast as the Doctor, I was like, this chick can act day in and day out and do amazing things, and I think it showed. Definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think that's going to do it. Do you guys have anything else you want to add to the episode before we get out of here tonight?
No, I think I covered what I wanted to say.
Yeah, me too. I'm just... super pumped to have classic Doctor Who back.
And New Who.
And New Who. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, a lot of
different
Doctor Who
excitements.
Yeah.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Absolutely.
Well, it is October.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tis
the season. So this has been episode 5 of GallifRadio. You guys can check us out on the Journey into Comics network at journeyintocomics.com or iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, and Spotify. Just search Journey into Comics Network. Go to patreon.com/Journey into Comics. Give us $1 for early access and exclusive content. There are also a bunch of other awesome tiers, like a sticker tier and a t-shirt tier. Hey, I'm wearing a Journey into Comics Network t-shirt right now, Veronica and Sarah. What do you guys think of this t-shirt?
I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
It's bold.
Yeah.
Says what it needs to say.
Thanks.
It does do that.
Yeah.
Thanks to our not sponsors, but affiliates, TeePublic, for sending this to me for free, $0. I didn't even have to pay shipping. They were like, we're sending it to you 100% complimentary. Let us know what you think of the quality. I love it. I think it's a great shirt. So you can get our shirts on teepublic.com now as well. Just search Journey into Comics Network. We've got a store there. I think that's going to do it for episode 5 of GallifRadio. Good job, Tim Shaw. I've been Nate.
I'm Veronica.
Sarah.
And we'll see you guys later.